Yesterday, someone sent me some information from ChatGPT, the AI assistant, I guess you could call it, program, or just the artificial intelligence, and how accurate they've said to me the AI was in regards to their astrology. And I asked them, did you use Western tropical astrology or did you use true sidereal astrology? To which they gave me no answer. But they said that the AI was perfect in regards to how all the aspects of their life, experience, of how they move through life. ChatGPT was absolutely spot on in regards to that individual's perceptions, aspects, patterns, responses, reactions, traits, personality, etc., etc. Right? Which I cracked up laughing when I read it, and I sent that individual the link to David Icke's reality trilogy, and said to them, hey, if you want to get a deeper insight into why you actually you're looking at ChatGPT, which is kind of ironic after reading the reality trilogy, what Icke says and what I've said since 2014 when I first started writing the book United, the novel United. I said that the archontic force, and David Icke was with me was thinking exactly the same way in 2014 when I was writing this book United, which bookends my series of books, the Shadow and Soul series, on Ohoakebooks.com, Ohoakebooks.com, shameless plug. That book in United bookends the Shadow and Soul series, but it also makes it quite clear, and this was my perception in 2012, 13, 14, and then 15, 16 when I finished that book, and my perception is even more clearer now, that the archontic force that controls the simulation, this frequency band we call 3D, is a form of interdimensional AI. And how ironic that my friend was using ChatGPT to get her program, and I say it's a program, and I will explain further in this video what I mean by that, her program of her life, the life program. Put in the data, press enter, boop, there's your life. If AI is in control of the 3D simulation and the 3D frequency band, and it's all a construct, a matrix, then if it's technological and it makes perfect sense, and there's Laura Leon and other people have made it quite clear that there is a technological aspect after their near-death experiences, and remembering their near-death experiences, when they leave the body, the awareness leaves the body and goes into the lower fourth dimension, into lower astral. There's a technological aspect in David Icke's books, The Trap, The Dream, The Reveal. He goes deeply into this information and cites people that have had near-death experiences and how technological some of those experiences are. And in fact, in one citation in one of the books he's written out of that trilogy, there's a dude that says he went into a room with grey extraterrestrial aliens, or extraterrestrial, more interdimensional, right? That's a whole other topic for another video. But these interdimensional beings were working at console boards, looking at him, his awareness in that space where they were, and they were working on console boards, pretty much getting ready to send his consciousness back into the matrix. So I wrote in that book in 2014 that nanotechnology had possessed the biology, because I didn't really understand the nature of the holographic aspect, but the biology of the lower fourth dimensional entities and some other non-human entities, what we call the classic greys, some reptilian races and some humanoid races had been possessed or been attuned with the use of nanotechnology in their biology, which changed their DNA to be in coherence with the AI hive mind, and by doing that was able to control thoughts, emotions, machinations of the biology of those beings that were possessed with this nanotech, and they were working for the Archontic force. Now, in David Icke's books, he makes it quite clear that if we are in a simulation, and this is information he's citing and also information he's perceiving through his own intuitive work, and I laughed, like I said before, in regards to what this friend of mine was saying in regards to her astrology, right? I did a video before saying, are both Western tropical astrology and true sidereal astrology, are they machinations, are they programs running in the simulation, right? I did a video about that a year ago. And my question then remains now, is the astrological charts that we have, basically what that is, in my perception now, technologically, is this. When consciousness is tricked into coming back into the louche farm that is this three-dimensional pocket created by the Archontic AI, this simulation, when it's tricked to come back here, when it's tricked, coerced or tricked into contract to come back into this realm, the moment it happens, the holographic form, as we call the solar system, the planets are in certain alignment with each other, in certain positions within the solar system, right? Which is also holographic, as above, so below. Fractal. We are a fractal of the larger, right? As above, so below. Our awareness, our bodies are a fractal of the solar system, as above, so below, right? But when our consciousness decides to, through the coercion, through the contract, reincarnate, be recycled back into a holographic form in this realm, when the moment of fertilization happens, and this has been filmed before, there's a spark, and that is that divine spark. It's the divine spark of the spirit entering into the zygote, right? When that happens, it's showing you the electrical nature of the universe, okay? So what we're having in that moment, when that divine spark pops into the zygote, it appears in the zygote, it's basically sent into the zygote, technologically. At that moment, the planets all electrically are speaking to each other. Electrically, electromagnetism, all the planets are in a certain position and they're all speaking to each other electrically, and that charge goes into the spirit and then it's popped into the zygote, technologically sent into the zygote, with those planets being in certain locations, and there's aspects of the planets in those certain locations have an effect electrically on the spirit as it enters into the zygote, and therefore the program, which is basically data, like where the planets are in regards to relation to each other, data, electrical data, electromagnetic data is all put into the spirit technologically, and then bang, you're sent into the zygote in regards to the divine spark into the zygote. And by doing that, you're giving attributes and aspects of that moment electrically, electromagnetically, digitally and holographically, of that moment where those planets, where those bodies, those planets, well, even then, it's not even a planet, it's just empty space, right? But the electrical confluence, the electromagnetic confluence of those bodies, what we perceive and decode as being planets, holographically, have a charge, have a position, have an aspect, and that's the program that's sent into the zygote with the spirit, right? And that's the program that you will live your life. The AI has programmed you through the simulation, and those aspects of where the planets are, right? That information is programmed into the spirit as it recycles into the zygote, the spark, the divine spark. And when that happens, you have all these attributes of a program. Data, enter, boom, push enter. Computer program console, whatever it is, whatever Archon looks like, the biological being, the grey, the reptilian, the Nordic, whatever the being is, that's working in a technological matrix to program the spirit entering into the zygote. All that information goes in, like a program, like a software program, into the hard drive, which is the spirit, the divine spark, which is actually probably more succinct to say the zygote, which becomes the body, the holographic form that you're looking at right now. And the program's running through this holographic form for it to age within the simulation. It's all interactive, right? That moment that happens, that's when you get your program put in. So everything in regards to astrology, your chart, blah, 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 it's quite obvious. They tell you this, right? But it's a program. It's a software program running through your life. And it's all very well to understand this. And when you see it for what it is, that gives you the opportunity to change it, to hack into the program and change it completely, because you have the ability to do that. And as David Icke rightly points out, the way to hack into the program and change it is your heart vortex. I was explaining this to my friend yesterday, and she was like, dismissive, right away. Dismissive. That's okay. Excuse me, it's okay. Where she was at, she just didn't want to know anything about it. She didn't believe it. But it's a program. It's quite obvious when you read these books of trilogy, the David Icke's reality trilogy, when you read them, and when you hear the citations of people that have and the experiences that David Icke writes about in his books, especially Laura Leon's work, you see that it's a technological matrix. It's a simulation. And these are programs, these are computer programs, and your holographic form is simply a computer program. It's simply a computer program. And the way to hack into that computer program and change it, your astrological chart, is not necessarily how you're going to live your life. It will be how your life will flow out. If the program continues to move forward without anyone hacking into it, changing it, deleting it, putting in a whole new program that connects to source energy, to prime creator, to your point of awareness in 5D and beyond into infinity, or any external force outside the simulation, your life is going to run with that program, an astrological chart, which is basically a software program, an application. It's going to run its course through your entire life, unless you find a way to hack into it, change it, delete it, as I've said. And that's quite obvious to me now. I look at this, after reading this book, these 3 books, The Trap, The Dream, The Reveal, after reading those books and listening to Laura Leon speak, and listening and also do my own research and understanding this, I've got so many more questions around the nature of my own experiences, my own near-death experiences, right? Was I having an illusory artificial intelligence created holographic experience outside of my body to trap me, to trick me, to come back into a place of wanting to come back into this realm and be in the Loosh farm, and understanding that my astrological charts, both Western and tropical astrology, which is antiquated, and also, in my perception, is the chart that people follow to keep them misdirected away from the real, true sidereal astrology. If you follow true sidereal astrology and look at your chart in a true sidereal astrology sense, with the notion and the knowledge, the gnosis, that this is a simulation, and that's your simulated path moving forward. That's the simulate. And then you look at the notion, the effect of how the powers that be use true sidereal astrology to actually go about their machinations and creating more loosh, and all of their greatest moves, all their greatest actions within creating more loosh for their lower astral masters, their demonic masters, are all take place, that all the machinations can be easily tracked through true sidereal astrology. Then you begin to see that that's what the powers that be use within the simulation, because that's the bricks and mortar programs that they use within the simulation. That's the actual software program. The OS, the operating system, is true sidereal astrology in the sense, in the electrical sense, in the electromagnetic sense, in the digital sense, in the holographic sense. True sidereal astrology is the OS in regards to the simulation, what the lower astral entities use within the simulation, right? So when people are stuck even further into the trap of using Western tropical astrology, they're both traps, but this one here takes you even deeper into the trap, Western tropical astrology, because it's antiquated. It's 2,000 years old. It's Western tropical astrology. It's got nothing to do with the true sidereal, the true sky clock, how it looks. True sidereal astrology is how the sky actually looks within the simulation when you're looking at it straight up above your head at night time when you walk outside. Western tropical astrology it's 2,000 years old, apparently. It's, from what people tell me who are working within that field, this is a misdirection, Western tropical astrology, taking you deeper into the matrix. At least if you know it's a game and you're using true sidereal astrology, you can see how the powers that be use it, and you can plot where they're going to bring in more loose activation events to create more loose for their lower astral masters. But it's all an OS, it's all an operating system, and these are all programs, including astrology. And then you look at that really, if you look at this information and you do the research yourself, the question then becomes, is my astrological chart simply a program? It's simply a program that's been divulged into your awareness, and people buy into it, which takes them deeper into the trap because they believe it's their life, it's how their life is going to be. But it doesn't have to be. What it's basically showing you, if you look at it from this perspective, like I am, it's showing you the moment that there's, if you go back to, most people don't go back to the moment of fertilization, they come to the moment of birth, living the mother's birth canal, because of the nature of the influence of the mother and the baby growing inside her body. Naturally, there's a coherence between the two. So when you leave the birth canal, then your life supposedly begins. But if you go back to the moment of fertilization and you do your chart from then, if you can find out when the moment of fertilization was, then you might see even deeper how the software program plays itself out in your life. But hey, let's go back to the moment of leaving the birth canal of the mother. That also gives you a software program, right? But not the deepest software program of that same lifetime, unless once again you hack into it. But it's still a software program. It's still an AI created software program for your life experience. And it will play itself out, like I said before, unless you do something about hacking it, deleting it, or changing it in some way. Thanks for watching. I truly appreciate it. Matewa. I'll see you again soon.